Hello, you may have noticed that we are currently between seasons. Yes, we wrapped my season of films about dreams a few weeks ago, and we're now recording season 8. This is a preview of what's to come in a new season. This time Sarah's gone for coming of age as the theme, and the first movie that we're talking about is a 1976 horror classic, Carrie, which releases on the 21st of October. Before we get to the season preview, we're asking anyone that listens and enjoys what we do to help out however you can. And there's a few ways you can do that. Firstly, over on Patreon, we've got a £3 a month tier where you'll get access to our end of season wrap shows and a minimum of 2 reviews every month of brand new movies. We're up to about 85 extra episodes, I think, on there. And we upload, I'd say, around 60 to 90 minutes of extra shows each month. So there's an ever-growing list over there. There's also a brand new tier for people that really, really want to help out. That one is £5 a month, and you'll get everything in the first tier, plus you get all of the main feed episodes 1 week early and without any flabby intros / Patreon ads like these. There is also a free tier over there. If you want to see what our season's lineups are ahead of time, that's where you can get it. They're not posted anywhere else. And of course, look, the support doesn't have to be financial. If you like what we do and you want to help in a different way, you could make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you listen. We've got a YouTube channel as well, so if you've got an account over there, go and give that a click and a subscribe. That would be helpful. If you listen on Spotify, it's really easy to rate 5 stars. Just click the 5-star icon below the show's artwork. Submit a review wherever you listen, preferably 5 stars. That would be lovely. Finally, if you could tell someone about the show, perhaps you've got a really twisted friend that is all about flotation tanks. If you do, I would ask you to share our episode of Altered States with them and see if that changes their mind about the tanks. And at the very least, make sure you're following us on social media. Search for the handle STH_pod on Instagram, Threads, TikTok. All of the links are in the description. So without further ado, here is a sneak peek of what is coming up in Season 8, which runs from the 21st of October to the 9th of December. First movie being Carrie. We're back for a brand new season. This time, Sarah, it's your choice of theme.
It is. It should really be me starting the show, I suppose.
Well, I mean, we can make that a thing if you like. If you want to do the intro for...
I'm not very good at it. You're the intro man.
Not the intro man.
Why am I trying to take this away from you?
I'm quite happy if you want to do the hosting duties for your seasons. That would make sense.
I could give it a go.
Now? Or do you want to prepare for the next one?
No, I prepare.
You prepare?
I prefer unprepared and flying by the seat of my pants.
Well, why don't you fly by the seat of your pants right now?
Not literally. That's not what that means.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't think was literal. Imagine if you could actually fly.
Which pants? They'd have to be special pants, presumably.
Yeah, magic pants, obviously.
Yeah, not all pants could do that.
Like that story where you've got the magic... Was it a magic flying chair? Do you remember that story?
What? A magic flying chair?
Yeah, there was like this chair and a kid sat in a chair and it flew around and I loved it. And that's all I can remember about.
I think that might have been a dream. If anybody else knows what the hell Dan is talking about, please write in.
I can't think of any children's writers that I would have read. Roald Dahl. Was it Roll?
Roald
Dahl. Others.
Is that it?
Yeah. I think the people that I would have read when I was a kid anyway. I don't know. Magic flying chair anyway. I don't know why I was talking about that because I've just remembered because flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, there are no pants, there is no flying, there's no magic of any kind in this show, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
There is some telekinesis, however.
Yes.
Because we're covering Brian De Palma's 1976 Carrie.
Yes. Not the 1988 musical. Not the 1999 sequel, The Rage.
Oh, God.
Carrie 2.
Ugh.
Not the 2013 Chloe Grace Moretz remake.
No, however, I did watch that a few weeks back.
Did you?
I did.
That was sneaky.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
When you weren't here.
Oh, that's very
I think you were
sneaky.
raving in a field.
You kept that from me. To be fair, you probably could have texted me at the time, told me you were watching Carrie, and I'd have no memory of that.
And you were having deep in conversation with a tree somewhere.
Mm.
Yeah, I figured.
Mm.
But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to kind of compare and contrast a little bit as well, because I'd seen the remake before and I didn't care for it. I thought I would give it a second chance because sometimes my opinion can change dramatically from one viewing to another. It did not in
Okay.
this instance. I still think it's a pile of shit.
It's a big pile of poo-poo, is it?
Yes,
Big,
I think so.
big DVD duty.
Scoop diddy poop.
Scoop diddy poop. Oh, brilliant. I'm glad that you had a chance to watch it. I was considering watching it. Haven't seen it before.
Oh, no.
So I, like you, I kind of wanted to do the contrasting thing, but I ran out of time. So I did other things instead. I watched other bits and pieces, which might come up during the course of the show.
Well, you've done a bit more of a deep dive on De Palma, haven't you?
Yeah, I've watched a couple of his films. I watched Scarface because you have to watch Scarface, don't you? I think it's just a
You've
law.
got testicles, so of course you have to watch Scarface. That is written into UK and US law, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's mandated.
Yeah, mandated.
It's exactly mandated. It's very clever. I planned that.
Did you?
Yeah. Of course, I watched Scarface. I watched The Untouchables.
Okay.
I watched the Noah Baumbach documentary De Palma,
Okay.
which we were hoping we were going to get a chance to watch.
Yeah, I didn't even know it existed until about 3 days ago.
It's A24, and I gave that a watch the other day when one of the cats was sick, and I was up all night keeping an eye on him. So
nursing him.
I just wanted to be there in case he did we needed to go somewhere. But I had lots of free time, is what I'm saying. So I watched The Untouchables and De Palma documentary, and about the first act, I would say, of Mission Impossible 1996.
Okay, I always forget that's him.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? But before we get into that, maybe it's your season, isn't it? And it's the first episode of the brand new season.
It is.
And given that it's your theme, coming of age.
Yep.
Why are we having that theme this season? What's going on in your brain? So Stephen King then, one step hen King. Is he a PH or a V guy?
He's a PH.
He's a PH guy, is he?
But yeah, he's been quite vocal about the adaptations he doesn't care for. I know that.
I'm aware of The Shining.
Yeah, Kubrick was not on his Christmas list.
Yeah, I know that he's not a fan of that movie. What's Stephen King's opinion on the Tommyknockers, for example?
Oh, you'd have to ask him. I imagine probably much the same as everybody else who had to sit down and watch that absolute cack fest.
That was better than The Langoliers, though, wasn't it?
No.
Was it not?
On a par, probably.
I saw all of those once when they aired in the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s was pretty chock full of lackluster Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah, they were like limited series, weren't there? I know we had The Stand, I think, which came out.
I feel like that was late 80s.
I want to say mid-90s.
Was it?
I want to say, well, maybe it was between like 91 and 94, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that was a mini-series.
But we had that on one. Do you remember those double VHSs?
I do.
Where I think they were like 3 hours a pop.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that. I remember quite enjoying that when I was a kid.
There was Salem's Lot in the late 80s as well.
Is that a movie?
Well, originally that was like a mini-series, but it got chopped up and released as a movie as well. I'm not a big fan of the movie. I think it loses a lot of what made the miniseries good.
Okay.
When this show goes out, we may have seen the reboot of Salem's Lot, so there might be a review on Patreon. Who knows?
We did see a trailer for that, didn't we?
Yeah, it looks promising. But in terms of Stephen King adaptations, where do you stand generally?
I don't have any strong feelings when it comes to Stephen King. I've read one of his books.
Which one?
Pet Sematary.
Oh,
it's the only
yeah.
one that
Okay.
I've read. I read that like 4 years ago or something.
Sometimes dead is better.
Yeah, especially when it comes to rebooting that franchise. Like, stop. Just stop it. Yeah, I liked the book. It was good. That's what I think about Stephen King. It's good, right?
I read a book. It was good.
It's all right, isn't it? But in terms of adaptations, I'm definitely more aware of his adaptations. And there's been so many.
Well, he's such a prolific writer.
If I had to guess, there must be like 100 adaptations, right? Movies, limited series. Are there any games and comics? Maybe more.
There are at least 5. I'm going to play it safe
We've
with
got
that.
2 versions of it for a start.
Yeah, 1990, another miniseries.
Yeah.
It was definitely the trend back then, wasn't it?
So to answer your question, adaptations, I don't have any strong feelings for. I like some of them. Some of them are fine. Some of them are garbage. I think. Did you ever see The Dark Tower?
I didn't know. That was one I avoided because I did read. They were like it was a series of novellas, wasn't it? But the adaptation kind of flew under my radar. And then I saw reviews and was like, oh, okay, guess I'll avoid that then.
It's not really worth... It's one of those weird movies that, to me, it's not really bad enough to have a strong opinion on, and it's not really good enough to have a strong opinion on. It's just
that's
like,
almost worse.
I think, yeah, that's... And it was just sort of, it starts and it ends, and it's like...
Oh, no.
What a waste.
Aren't they... I say they.
Who?
I don't know who they are, but isn't there another adaptation of that in the works?
Probably.
Okay.
And
because everything gets the reboot treatment as well. You've already mentioned it. There was another version of The Stand a few years back.
Yeah, I'm quite interested to see that, actually.
Already, again, mentioned Salem's Lot. I'm amazed nobody's gone near Misery yet, because that was a really strong one.
Yeah, that's... Is that maybe my favourite Stephen King adaptation, Misery? It might be.
It's a great film. It's so good.
It is good, yeah. I remember seeing that as a kid and just being traumatised by the... you know what the part we're talking about.
The hobbling?
Yeah.
It's so much worse in the book.
Oh, I think you've
so
told me
much
that
worse.
before.
I'm not going to get into it because people may not have read the book or seen the film, so I don't want to spoil it too much. Some of the descriptions haunt me to this day.
Really?
They're quite graphic and ugh. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about our love for James Caan on this podcast before, so I'm sure it won't be too long before Misery pops up in a lineup.
Yeah,